You are listening to Thrival Nutrition Podcast, episode 64. Welcome to the Thrival Nutrition Podcast with me as your host, Lahana Vigliano. We talk all things holistic living, real food nutrition, fitness, herbs, essential oils, and so much more. I'm here to make your holistic lifestyle simple, easy, and fun for you and your family. I am beyond thrilled that you are here. So let's go over and hop over to today's episode. Happy Tuesday! It is getting so close for us to be moving. I can't believe we're only a couple weeks away. That's just crazy. And we're just busy packing, and we have we're doing one last get together with our friends that live here and our family, kind of like a going away party, just so the kids can play one last time. My son is about to finish his first year of school. He's going to be a first grader this year. And it's just insane how fast time flies, right? And so we are just trying to have fun and just enjoy the time we have left here in Orlando. We've always been in Florida, so it's just bittersweet, but super exciting at the same time. And we're feeling really at peace with the big move. And we're scared, but we're not scared at the same time. I don't know if that's possible, but that's just how we're feeling. So I've been loving all the feedback and all the questions and all the engagement that is in the Facebook group. If you have not joined, please go join. It's in the show notes. You can just search Easy Holistic Living for Families, request to join, and I'll approve you. It's just been so much fun. And I feel like each week it gets a little bit better and a little bit more people chime in. And it's one of those things is when you're in a Facebook group, especially if you're in a new one, and you don't really, I don't know, there's rules, but you have to feel the vibe of the group first. So I feel like that's kind of happening is people have joined when we started the Facebook group weeks ago, and they're just kind of okay, these are my friends, and they're feeling more comfortable and, asking questions, which I love. I like to know what's going on and, what's going on in people's lives and what they need help with and what they have success with. It's not just all about problems and questions. It's about, being successful with certain things too. So go over, join the Facebook group. I would really, really love to have you. Today we have a very special guest, and her name is Carol, and she specializes in digestion and detox, but more so than that, she goes just a little bit deeper, and she'll be explaining her 3 baskets that she works out of, and it's really amazing how intricate all of the 3 baskets she's going to talk about, how they work together, and even though they seem unrelated, but they really are related. So I'm very excited about today's podcast, and I think you'll get some really good tips that you can even just start doing tomorrow if you wanted. So let's go over and chat with Carol. Hi, Carol. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. How are you?
Good morning, Lahana. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. I am very excited to have you on talking about a topic that I haven't covered yet, surprisingly, but we're going to be talking about, detox and our digestion. So before we get started, just go ahead and introduce yourself and let our listeners know who you are and what you do.
Super. So my name is Carol Egan, and my areas of expertise, the areas that I've studied closely are digestive health and detoxification. For me, they go hand in hand. I work with accomplished professionals who recognize that they have sacrificed their health for their success, and they're ready to look as healthy as they are successful. And I help them take control of their diet and their healthy lifestyle choices, and so that they can, reclaim vibrancy in their life again.
That's awesome. It's so easy to get lost. And when you're a business owner or just, whatever you're doing, whatever your passion is, it's really easy to get lost in it and then forget about self-care.
It's actually frightening how much so, because the magnetic pull of mainstream lifestyle, I've had very sick people say to me, Lahana, but Americans don't eat like that. Well, maybe it's just because we're off track. That's all. We're just off track, and we just got to get back on the rails.
Yep. So diving into, detox and digestion, can you tell us, what our natural detox system and our digestive system is? What does it do? The behind the scenes look, I guess.
Well, the behind the scenes look is simply the body's ability to remove waste matter. from, from whatever we take in. It's a natural filtration system. And, today with this is why they're so integral, the digestive and the detoxification. Today we're living on a diet that the body doesn't recognize as fuel.
Yeah.
And so it's so overloaded and bombarded with food-like substances.
Yeah.
That it's causing obstruction and blockage in the body. And the body, is getting backed up into all of its filtration systems. You can talk about, most specifically the colon, the large intestine.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're looking at, the liver and the kidneys. I mean, the urinary tract, part of the kidneys and liver filtration. So when we're talking about detoxification, a lot of people might say, well, the body knows how to cleanse itself. Yes, under the ideal conditions, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the conditions are no longer ideal. Like, it's an impact of the modern lifestyle at this point, Lahana. Like, if you go back to, of course, evolution. I'm a Capricorn. I'm a very pragmatic woman. I'm, very much in action, just like everybody else. But I do things every day to ground me, to counter this fast pace that we're living at.
We definitely are bombarded with our diet, and we're always on the go. And I mean, that could be anything from just being busy in our mind to not exercising to eating wrong. So what do you think? I know you kind of mentioned like the liver and the colon. So how do those work in like the detox process? What's their purpose and what do they do?
Well, they simply remove toxins from the body. I mean, I don't think in this call, I'm going to get into the science of it, but their responsibility is to remove the toxic waste matter from so if in the ideal conditions, colon and the liver would simply dump toxins out of the body.
What are some major toxins, you would say?
The ones that I'm most versed in, but of course there's our environmental. There's stress toxins. I mean, don't ever underestimate the power of stress as a toxic impact on the body. Environmental is growing increasingly concerning. But the toxic waste that is my area of expertise is the toxins that are produced in the body. Because now here's the one that concerns me. It's not just waste matter that is unable to leave the body, but it's the toxins that are now being produced by the waste matter, the yeast, the mold, the pathogen, the fungus that's growing on that waste matter from fermentation, from sitting there. Mm-hmm. So that's also producing toxic waste matter. So those are the toxins that are my concern, my greatest concern. I think that we can talk about every other healing modality all day long. And from what I've learned and what I know, if you have toxic waste, if you have a cesspool in the middle of your body, how is acupuncture going to help?
Yeah.
How is drinking green juice going to help?
Yeah.
So for me, you eat a healthy diet. And when I say healthy, I'm talking about a largely live food diet that's alive with vital energy, that's magnetic. And that magnetism literally will pull toxic waste matter off of the digestive wall. But that alone, of course, is so you pull it off the wall. Wonderful. Awesome. But if you don't eliminate it, if your body's not capable of eliminating it because it's so backed up with blockage and obstruction, then it's all for naught. You've got to eliminate it.
Yeah. There's tons of like the detox fads and stuff out there. So what do you think about those? Are they all talk kind of like you said? I mean, you can do everything you want, but you have to solve the problem of releasing the toxins out of your colon. But I'd love to hear your opinions on, there's so many different products out there that are labeled like detox, help with detox, stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I don't subscribe to any of it. I don't subscribe to any of it. It's really because this is what I'm becoming more keenly aware of each and every single day is we think of food as nutrition or what we need to function, but what we really need is energy. What we really need to look radiant is energy in the body, like real energy moving through the body, no blockage, no obstruction. Where you can drink a green juice and it can move into the body and revitalize you. If you're not eliminating this waste. So if you're to your question, if you're taking in powders and they're helping you eliminate something, mm-hmm. you're not getting to the deeper colon. You're getting waste matter out, but you're not getting to the obstruction. Those powders are not going to necessarily remove the obstruction. So it's really a combination of live foods and
food is medicine.
Food is medicine. Food is medicine. Yes. Ironically, I just launched, and it's not by no means a plug, but ironically just did include launch a new little mini program that includes a couple of things that to help pull things off of the wall, help remove toxins, but you still have to eliminate it alone. It's we're after the energy of the live foods, and you think about the standard American diet, or to your question, I beg your pardon, these powders and these programs and these packages that could be even chemically based supplements. They're made in a factory. There's no intelligence left in those products. The body wants to restore to intelligence. That's what we're after, is to get back to, because when we help the body restore its intelligence, then we start turning on all the circuits. Then everything starts to work because there's a flow of energy moving through the body.
Give us some specific, maybe some foods that you really, really love that naturally help support our body's detox system.
Well, for me, it's a very green-centric diet, so I have a playful little recommendation that I offer to all clients and anybody I ever meet. And I call it the Holy Trinity, but rather HOLY. I call it the WHOLLY, a whole food. Largely, it's a greens 3 ways, essentially. And so to start the day with green juice, you're breaking the fast. You've slept all night, you've not eaten, you essentially had a fasting period. To break that fast with green juice, there's no digestive fire required. It goes straight to your cells and rejuvenates and helps continue this healing process. And just super rejuvenative and healing. And then to move into a green smoothie, and to always include a meal-sized green salad every day.
What are some things you put in your green juice?
Well, my standard, it's actually changing a little bit right now. I'm starting to add a little red beet and carrot a little more often. Of course, keeping in mind the rainbow when you're eating salads. One of the things, any one of the 3, the juice, the smoothie, or salad, keeping in mind the rainbow, looking for these vibrant colors. That's just a whole different, now you're talking about really turning the circuits on.
Yeah.
But my current blend is lots of celery and cucumber, spinach, red beet, carrots, lemon, and ginger.
Oh, that sounds good.
And I don't put any fruit in that. When you drink a juice, If you're drinking a juice high in sugar, it's just like drinking a Coca-Cola. I mean, it's just still, and we're talking about, with detoxification, helping bring the body back to homeostasis, helping the body reclaim balance. And to reclaim balance, we've got to stop dumping all the sugar in the body.
Yeah, I know. I see even not even just making your own, but the ones in the stores that are like, oh, like, 100% juice, but like 95% of it is fruit. And I'm like, that's a lot of sugar, especially taking away the fiber to even slow the digestion of sugar. It's just straight sugar.
Yeah. So to help your listeners, let me make these suggestions. There's Suja and Blueprint that sell cold press. You want to buy the cold pressed juices, nothing like this Adwala and Naked juices. Those are processed with heat. They're loaded with sugar. And once it's processed with heat, there's no vital nutrition left. You want to buy cold pressed juices so that the live enzymes and vital nutrition is still active when you put it in the body. So Blueprint and Suja both have juices that are cold pressed and are low in sugar.
Okay,
and
cool.
if somebody says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try it, and then you taste it and you say, oh my goodness, that's too potent for me. So I have two suggestions. Add a little stevia, because if there's no fruit in it, add a little stevia, or dilute it a little with a little bit of water and put some lemon juice in a little stevia.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I've tried the Suja, the green one, and I don't think there's any fruit whatsoever, and it is pretty potent.
Well, and for somebody like me, I can handle that. But for somebody who could be new to this, it's going to not only be not palatable, it could also be problematic. I definitely have, as much as I play a high level game, I also believe that we've got to lean into it, because that's where the biggest progress is made, is by leaning into it and taking it slowly. Your body's going to open to the process a whole lot better and a whole lot more easy if you are gentle, if you're challenge yourself and you're gentle with it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not as a shock to the system.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
When you do it, definitely more gently.
Yeah.
So you mentioned to me that you work in like 3 buckets. And so tell us what these 3 buckets are and why they're really necessary to do them all together, and you can't just, do one without the other.
Well, I'm gonna start it off by saying this. One of my clients wants to write a blog post. She said, Carol, this is wild. I came here to lose weight, and I can't believe, and she's, it's just falling off of her. But she said, I totally get your point now, that this is not just food. This is so much more. This is only 25% food. So the 3 buckets are this. The first bucket, and not in any particular order, they're all 3 equally integral. The first bucket is nutrition and exercise. The second bucket is mindset. And the third bucket is, I call it 2 things: reconnect to self and mindfulness. An extraordinary game to watch how it works for each of us, because you, for example, might have, and I would assert because of the work that you do, you have a pretty strong mindset around a healthy lifestyle. But maybe, when it comes to what I might call food boundaries, maybe you're a little soft there. And so we would work on reconnecting to self, because see, I'm a firm believer in this, Lana. If we're disconnected from self, and come on, in today's world, at the rate we're moving, we're all disconnected. If we're disconnected from self, how could we ever hope to make a strong, healthy decision respecting our higher self? How can we hope to look and feel our very best if we're fragmented and frenetic inside? We're all so busy doing, accomplishing. And then we go and we're exhausted and we find ourselves at the pizza parlor or in front of a sleeve of cookies wondering what happened. That's not what I'm committed to. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
But when we create a little routine, and so of course, yes, there's this sweet little word that lots of people don't like, and it's self-discipline. But when we start creating healthy habits and we start turning up the volume of self-discipline, we not only start noticing a radiance in our skin, but we also notice a level of freedom rising up. So it's the saying no and the self-discipline that opens this whole new world that is freedom.
I agree. It's the same like connection. I feel like stress, like, you know, when you're not producing enough self-care and you're always stressed out, you can eat as good as you want, but ultimately, you know, there's so many other things that impact the body in a meaningful way.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why my 3 buckets are, you know, integral to the work that I do.
That's awesome. Give us like 3 tips you would say to help someone work on their mindset and being mindful.
Perfect. First one is identify 3 negative thoughts that you know hold you back. I'm too tired. My family doesn't eat like that. Identify the 3 thoughts that you know hold you back. They show up all the time. They're like an old CD that just keep playing. And now you want to scratch that. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn it around. Kind of like kind of like an affirmation, but it's going to be you specific. So it's going to be very different than just saying, I'm going to be happy today. I'm going to eat healthy today. It's going to be very you specific. So for instance, you're going to turn around, I can't do it, to I always win. I never lose. And now what you're going to do is you're going to go to your smartphone and you're going to take your 3 turnarounds, and I would assert, make 20 of them if you need to. Find every limiting thought and go to your smartphone and go to your clock on your smartphone, and you're going to put a timer in. And you're going to set the clock to go off like you have a meeting at 7 a.m. And at 7 a.m., and inside that smartphone, you can label that like you were labeling an appointment. I'm going to meet Lahana today at 11 a.m. Well, instead of putting I'm going to meet someone, you're going to put your phrase. And you're going to put that on repeat so it goes off every day. And now all of a sudden, you've got all of these positive little reminders that are countering your specific negative thought patterns. The first one is that, you know, to identify the thought. The second one is to turn it around. The third one is to counter it.
I love that.
To set it up in a repeat way.
Awesome. Is there a special app, or is just a reminder in your phone, like on the iPhone or something, and just the reminders app?
Yeah, no. It's let me repeat. I'm glad that you asked that question, because I did say it, but maybe I wasn't clear enough. And repetition, as you might know, is the mother of all skills.
Yep.
So somebody else might have had that question too. So you're going to I'm going to do that with you. I happen to have an iPhone, but I have helped clients do it on different phones. So you're going to go to your clock, and you're going to hit alarm. And then you're going to hit the little plus button up in the corner to add an alarm to your phone. Now, let me have mine in there. So I'm going to say edit. So now I'm going to say at 5:30 a.m., I'm going to set an alarm to wake me up. If you look through the face of your phone, you're going to see that it says label. And you can put in whatever message you want. For readers' benefit, I'm going to tell you that one of my early bells is I'm 100% responsible for every detail of my life.
Ooh, I like that.
So now all of a sudden, it's empowering. And now, when you're faced with food choices that you don't want, you're going to have that bell go. You're going to wake up to this whole new mindset. I'm taking charge today. And so you can see right now, for the last few minutes now, we've not really talked about food at all or detoxification, have we?
No.
But you can see how integral this is.
Yes.
Because if you really want to cleanse and detoxify your body, you need to support yourself on a mindset level. Because without it, your friends saying, how can you eat that? That's not enough. Eat this with us once in a while. Come on. But see, if you're responsible, if you're every day aware of, I'm 100% responsible for my day. I am committed to I'm committed to looking and feeling my best. Then all of a sudden, your ability to say no starts energizing while you're eating these healthy foods. So now you're working on a cellular level. You're pulling waste matter off of your wall. You're eliminating it out of your body. You're helping cleanse your liver and stabilize your kidneys. And you're energizing. So do you see what I mean, though? It's happening on a cellular level and a mental cognitive level. It's magic. It really is like freaking magic, but it's not. It's just, it's a beautiful little system. It's a beautiful little game.
Well, I really appreciate the work that you do, because I do think that this definitely needs to be as top as priority as eating healthy. So I really appreciate everything that you do and everything you shared with us. If anyone wanted to get in touch with you, where would they find you?
At carol-egan.com, carol-egan.com. And my email is simply carol@carol-egan.com. Just simply please email me, because I would love to answer your questions. But before we hang up, let me offer one last thing. Would that be okay?
Yes, perfect.
So we talked about, I gave you some pointers for nutrition regarding getting greens in 3 ways every day. Mm-hmm. I gave you what I think is a life-altering little game that you can play with yourself and take charge of your own self. The other, from the mindfulness reconnect bucket, I cannot overemphasize taking on some form of a meditation practice. Coming home to yourself, doing deep breathing. Deep breathing, it is documented that it can actually change the shape of your brain. But it's also documented that it's very grounding. It's going to turn on your creativity. It's going to turn off the apathy and turn on your motivation and your desire to want to start doing things the way you want to be doing them again. And so if you did those 3 things, you're going to start really shifting the quality of your life in big, significant ways. One of the tools that I love is called Insight Timer.
Okay.
And they have guided meditations. So Insight Timer is a great little app that you can download. Another one that's really awesome is called Do Now. DONOW. And it actually is almost like a breathing machine where you can keep your breath with them.
Okay.
Headspace is another one. Another one that I have is Calm, CALM. And so there, those would be 4 that I would highly recommend. From there is another one that I just love, but it's a little bit longer, so it might be hard for a newcomer, but I think that you would get value out of it. There's a 29-minute and a 45-minute on YouTube, and it's you would type in John Kabat-Zinn, JONKABATZINN. And John Kabat-Zinn is the founder of what is called the mindfulness-based stress reduction program.
Okay.
And he has 2 body scans that are fantastic.
That's perfect. Yeah, I'll put those in the show notes so people can go over and, look and find those. But I really appreciate everything you've shared with us. I thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And just as a final note, Lahana, I ironically just put up a new 7-day course called Eliminate Excuses, Prioritize Your Health Now.
Awesome.
So it's a pretty one of the mindset idea. I think I do offer it in there, but I have several other ideas like what we talked about today.
Perfect. And that's on your website?
It is. It's right there.
Perfect. I will link that one up in the show notes too. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Bye everybody in the podcast.
The contents of this podcast are for educational purposes only. This information is not intended to replace a one-on-one relationship with a qualified healthcare professional, and it is not intended for medical advice. This is the sharing of knowledge and information from education, research, and experience. I am not a registered dietitian or physician. I encourage you to make your own healthcare decisions based on your research and partnership with a healthcare professional. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week.